And it's on its way out of the atmosphere, on its way to Mars. And, oh wow, it's working totally, isn't it? It's not even on Mars yet.
Yeah, I was going to say, why is it drilling if it's not there?
It must be in test mode. So, now let's imagine that it's landed safely on Mars. We're going to fast forward. Will you fast forward to being on Mars? That's very fast. All right. Now, this is a rover. That means it can move. The whole thing can roll. Now, we need some Martian rocks to be drilled into. Yeah, there's one. Yeah. Could you step up? Yeah. Uh-huh. We're not really going to drill into you. We need a few more rocks, though. Maybe some roll. We'll get some rock and roll. Yeah. So there's a whole group of rocks right in here. All right. Can you be rock-like? This is, oh, that's good. Strong rock. Yeah. All right. So now, can we? Well, we probably need someone at the computer. Yes, right there. Someone at the computer on Earth. Would you like to be the person on Earth who sees this all on the screen? And I want you to guide the spacecraft to the rocks so they can drill and analyze, take the picture, send it to the computer, send it to the radio, and send it back to Earth, all right? Okay, so here we are. All right? Okay, so now let's see. Let's see if our movements can match the movement of the... well, you know there's a delayed reaction there, isn't there? So if we wanted the rover to move forward, and we did that, it takes a while for the signal to get to Mars, and then the whole thing moves forward. Oh yeah. Well, and it's autonomously knows to go to the rocks. That's an important feature these days. All right. So go ahead and drill. Now, why are we drilling? Because we need to. There's the outer covering on the rocks. So we're just drilling a little bit so we can reveal the inside of the rocks. If it's layered, perhaps it's sedimentary. All right. Are you drilling?
She's drilling.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be drilled? We never get the rock's point of view, do we? All right. Now, are we getting the picture? All right. Is the computer getting the information?
Oh, yeah.
Is the information getting sent back to Earth? Wait a minute, the satellite doesn't seem to be pointing to Earth. We may need to reposition the rover so that the satellite itself, or reposition the satellite.
You have to turn around.
That's you. I know, it's the radio. It's the radio sound. Oh, there we go. Now the signal is coming to Earth, and what we get is a picture perfect of these wonderful rocks, and discover that they are in fact layered, and it does look like they're lively, so I wonder if that means life on Mars. Well, okay, let's give that whole group a hand. Now, of course, I gave you pencils, thinking we might actually do some writing, because all these phrases are phrases that are meaningful in general. The second page there, you notice, is the same thing, but it's a smaller circle. There's lots of room there to put your own words or pictures of what these different things might mean as you're thinking through a strategy of figuring something out. Now, what did we actually do? Well, we were going to keep track of this. We have our scorecard right here. The first thing we landed on was what did we land on to get us started?
Structure.
It was communicate findings. So that would be our first thing. Then how did we do that? What did it look like to communicate findings? We didn't actually have the findings until we drilled into the rock, right? And then we got the radio to communicate the findings back to Earth. And then we said, find out what's already known. And I introduced some information that you could easily look up about Mars and why we're looking for life and how we find it. And then we got our engineers together to design the instrument. So as a game, if you take this home, you could wrap it around any particular project that you have in mind, have some interest in. It could be about how to shoot a better basketball shot. It could be about the birds that show up in your backyard. How many of you have parrots flying in every once in a while? Yeah. The other morning, I don't know what was going on in our neighborhood, but there was a flock of parrots all chattering. All the crows were up in the telephone lines and they were cawing. All the sparrows were chirping, and there were even a whole bunch of finches in one tree. I mean, it was like the hallelujah chorus of birds right there in the neighborhood. We suspect there might have been a hawk in the neighborhood that might have just been alerting, and they were just all chattering about what was going on, or they were just excited about the day that morning. Of course, I chatter a bit too. But you can also see that in putting this together in this particular way, we're using our science creativity, our engineering creativity, because we can think through how these things fit together. So if you were to look up, say, the Mars rover tonight, if you have access to the internet, you could see all the parts that we put together. You could see what they actually look like, and you'd have some insight into how it works. Or you could take something and make your own design, and first act it out, then draw it, then write about it, and then you've got a whole project right there. How many of you are working on a science project right now? Oh, of course, hold on a second. Did anybody do a science project this last? Yes? What was this? States of matter. That's New Mexico, California, New York, right? No? States of matter. Oh, I know. It's liquid, solid. You know, there's a fourth state of matter that we don't learn very much about until you realize that most of the matter in the universe is in stars. Stars are so hot under such pressure that matter goes beyond solid, liquid, gas to a form that we call plasma. On Earth, it exists when lightning strikes. The lightning, that brief lightning, it is so hot and powerful, it is actually matter in a brief form of plasma. But on stars, the matter there is plasma all the time. But I'm not talking about blood plasma or plasma TVs. Same word, different meanings. Isn't that wild that one word can have 5 different meanings? Well, with that in mind, I hope I stimulated your thoughts about how to apply this wonderful communication form to inquiry strategies around any topic you can imagine, and see if you can make a game of it when you go home tonight, or when another evening comes up that is so rainy and chilly that it makes you want to sit around the table and talk about La ciencia a tu alcance, science you can reach. Okay? Yes. Thank you.
Well, as you can see, that on the Saturday Spring Institutes, we have lots of very entertaining and stimulating conversations, as well as very interesting conversations that are taking place with students. Dr. Shope will be with us again this spring as we partner again with our Youth Science Center. And at this time, I would like everyone to notice the gentleman to my right.